Hello, beautiful strangers. My name is Markus. This is Frozen Synapse. It's a strategy game. It's really cheap. It's a few years old, and I really like it. It's not cheap in construction, it's cheap in price, is what I'm saying. So if you're interested in this at all, you can just go on Steam and buy it for nothing dollars. That's not true, it's not free, but it's very close. So Frozen Synapse, I already told you this much. What this series is going to be, what this episode is going to be, first and foremost, this episode is going to be me telling you a little bit about the game, explaining the mechanics, explaining the point, explaining who you are, what you do, and what the series is going to be. Restart entire campaign. So let's start with what the series is going to be. The series is going to be me playing the entire campaign of this game and not paying much attention to the story, except for in post when I'll probably maybe read it but not, not the beginning. I'm essentially going to be skipping through the story portions because they're really long and only vaguely interesting. They're very interesting, I'm lying. But they are long, and I've already got this situation of really long videos going on, and I don't, A, want each video in the series to be 30 minutes long and only contain story, or B, this series to be 200 episodes long. So that's what this is. I'm going to basically skip so that every single piece of text is on the screen for roughly a second. Anybody that wants to read will just have to play and pause the video in that exact timing. That's my idea, at least. I hope that works. Let me know in the comments if it does or doesn't. And really the main thing I'm here for is the play. I've already read this part 2 times, very recently, so it's not that interesting. Here's some news articles, here's some history that I can load and read. Here's this. Here we go. You can pause and read that. Here's this. Here you go. You can pause and read that. Here's this. Here you go. You can pause and read that. As I was failing to say, the story is actually very interesting. I really like it, but it's not something that I can really kind of read and get into on screen, because the game isn't necessarily built around enjoying that story. Not the way that, for example, or written concisely. What was the game? Primordia was. So in Primordia, we could totally go into the story really easily because everything in the game was also woven tightly into everything in the story. But here, the whole game portion is actually just play. It's just strategy. It's just combat strategy in very particular small areas, and it's not woven into the story at all. All right, your name is Tactics. You are an AI sort of thing. Atemporal, essentially. Don't know what exactly that means. Yeah, no, I can't even make a joke on that. Atemporal, I think it means, like, it's another way of saying incorporeal. I don't know, man. Fucking, what is a temporal? What's a temper? I know what a temper is, but... so, these starting missions are going to be easier. The opposing AI, our dudes are... Jesus. Cat, what are you doing? Being noisy. Our units are green. The opponent's units are red. What are you doing? Hold on a second. I need to check this. We continue. Nix, General Captain Lieutenant Nix is telling us that our talents are needed here, so we're going to play. Mechanically, this game was cutely described as Rainbow Six, except always in top-down view. It's apparently very readable. I don't know if I agree with that. But Mr. PC Gamer. But I mean, I like it. I talked a bit about it in Bleed, so I'm going to try not to sing all its praises all over the place. I'll be doing that as I play the game, and hopefully you'll be seeing why I like it so much. So essentially, how it works is the game plays out in phases, each 5 seconds long, and you assign commands to your troops to act out within those 5 seconds, and essentially hope that they are the correct moves to have made for you to win the match. But the only variable, the thing is, you can try out all the moves. So let's say if I tell this guy, who we're going to call 2 because that's his number down here, you can like kind of see it. Yeah, I can just kind of keyboard button my way over to the guys So if we tell number 2 here to go to this window and then aim out of it in this direction, so he will see this guy, we can play that out, in theory, like this. And he will see it, and he will shoot him, and that guy will be dead, and we win. We don't win yet, there's 2 more guys to defeat. I don't want to call them guys, that's gender specific. 2 more units. So yeah, this is a thing that we can do. However, the thing that they can do, and you can also assign commands to the opposing team. Now, these don't actually play out when you prime your turn. You submit it by pressing this button and then going, okay, we're going to go cancel. They're actually going to do whatever they decide is best. Which is not likely to be the thing that you assume they will do. So this guy, he could walk over here and try to ambush me. Let's see how that'll play out for him. See, I'm going to aim at him assuming he's there, but instead he comes around the corner and shoots me! That's ridiculous! So what can I do to defend against that? Well, I can go here and still aim out at him, but I can adjust my aim and my position so that if he comes around this corner, I will see him and destroy him still. And why do I get the first shot out? Like I just said, like, yeah, look at that. Why do I get the first shot out? The key here is aim, or accuracy. And accuracy is calculated based on the current state of each of your soldiers. For example, standing still gives a unit a higher accuracy than they would have if they were moving. Crouching gives units a higher accuracy than they would have if they were standing. And being behind cover will take away from the accuracy of anyone shooting at a unit compared to not being behind cover. Cover is essentially these low walls denoted in light blue. The high walls denoted in darker blue are not... They're cover in the sense that you can't really shoot through or over or around them. They just like block all line of sight and all contact. Unless you're a rocket launcher. If you have a rocket launcher unit, then the walls are just your prey. Anyway, so we figured out what we need to do in case this guy either stands still there or actually makes a move and tries to ambush us, right? But what if he tries something different? And this is actually the meat of the game. Trying to decide what the opponent is going to do, and you know, guessing and trying out different scenarios and adjusting so that you will win in as many of them as possible. Or basically, yeah, that's my approach at least. The whole point is simply adjusting to what your opponent will do, and that can be either guessing at what they will do if you can only adjust to one or another, or picking the safest bet between several options so that if your opponent chooses any of those options, they will, you know, fail and you will win. Of course, what's important is you might not guess, and you most likely won't guess many of the options that the opponents have because they, you know, I'm not going to, because my first assumption is that this guy's going to try to get this guy. That's not entirely likely. He could totally go for him, or him, or him. I said guys and hims again. I am sorry, but I mean, there are no gender denotations except for dat but. So, I don't know. I don't know if I should worry or apologize. Probably not. Someone told me recently that I shouldn't and make the videos better, so I'll try not to. This gentlefolk could go for anybody, because the AI is not predictable in that way. I presume when I'm fighting human opponents that they will always go for the closest unit of mine, but that's... the AI doesn't do that. They have their own logic, so I don't really know what's going to happen. He could also just stand here and aim this way. Let's see what happens then. He actually gets aim at me first, but as you can see, because I'm behind cover, like, I'm just moving and he immediately starts aiming as soon as I come into view across this low cover. But because I'm behind cover, he doesn't get his aim up fast enough, and I still shoot him first. Hacha! Also because he's got, like, a mandatory debuff, because this, like, this tutorial stage and everybody besides my units is weaker for my benefit. So, the best I can essentially do here is just position everybody so that they're ready to shoot anybody who comes to try and mess with them. So this guy I'm just going to have cover this entire space, like this actually, so that if anybody appears at this window, or in this hallway, or at this window, or right here, he's going to shoot at them. That means he's not covered from this guy here, sneaking in through these hallways. And he's also not covered from this guy here, sneaking up this hallway. But he actually is, because this guy comes up and he has a look down that hallway. And that's how you get prepared. So yeah, this guy comes up, has a look up the hallway, and pause. Like I was saying, this guy is now in pretty good cover. Maybe not against this one sneaking up because he might be a little out of range. In fact, I'm still going to adjust him a little bit, so let's see. This way what happens? Well, it's close enough. I'm going to try one more thing just in case because I've adjusted his position now so he can cover the hallway better. But he still wins that duel. Sweet. Alright. That means that this guy and this guy are essentially in the best positions I can put them in, which I'm happy about. For the future duration of the series, please assume that guy is used as a gender-neutral term. I'm going to have to use that when referring to the female characters of the game now too, to reinforce that. Oh well. That's probably not going to problem. Now what can I do with this guy? I'm so troubled. Well, this unit over here is pretty much out of the way of everybody. Like, he's useless. He's basically useless. I'm going to try to move up here. I'm going to try to have him... I'm essentially going to try to have him do something with this corridor in case this guy moves this way or whatever. I'm going to have move up here and duck or crouch and take aim down this corridor. Like this. So that way, this whole path is covered by that guy as well. This whole path is covered by this guy. These few entrances are covered by this guy for his own safety. And then this guy, I just want covering this hall down here. So these are my decisions currently. I'm not going to test... This is the only situation where the two opponents are close enough that I need to specifically, like, test the outcomes to see who would win if I set them up in particular ways. So that was the reason I was doing that. But everywhere else, it's just kind of a situation where I will get into position before they can possibly get into range of me, or they can get me into their sights. So it's not going to be, it's not something that I need to make a lot of tests for. Although I do want to check that this window isn't a massive liability. So just give me a second here. See if he can fire over that. I don't think he can. He definitely can't. Cool. Alright. Yeah, I don't think there are any more liabilities to consider here. Miss aims like that. That works for me. Alright, let's do it. I think we're ready. Wait, no, not quite yet. This guy still needs to take aim starting here and then crouch over here. Ooh! No, he can't take aim yet. Alright, he needs to take aim here for this way in case this guy is moving towards him. Test whether that's the case. So that he can shoot the guy first with his aiming abilities. And then when he reaches here, he crouches and then aims upward to cover the corridor. But like this, so that he covers both corridors a little bit. Well, those two lines denote his line of sight and line of aiming. Whether or not something is... In fact, this just occurred to me. I don't know whether the exact direction of the aim counts. Maybe he has increased accuracy for opponents right in his line of sight than he does for opponents on the very edge of it. But that's something we'll consider and learn as this playthrough progresses, because I don't actually know everything very well yet in this game. I understand the basic mechanics. Basically, I can kind of give people commands and get them to do what I want and test out scenarios, but ultimately, I don't think I'm a very good strategist. And this is going to come down to a lot of practice during the series, which might also include a lot of editing. We're going to see how this particular one resolves now, though. Let's just check who shoots who. Yes, my guy shoots his guy because I'm assuming that his guy isn't aiming. If his guy is aiming, though, I'm fucked. In fact, I'm going to just try that out. If he stands here and just aims this way... Oh, no, then this guy shoots him before he even gets here. Wait, what? Why didn't you do that? You! Why didn't you do it? Oh, because I positioned you awkwardly. You still need to be kind of this way, so you're only kind of covering that hallway. This might seem a little finicky, but it's still all mechanically very specific and obvious and consistent, and you understand the problem, so it doesn't feel like you're trying to fix a broken game as you mess with these controls in this little, like, tiny specific way, as you might in some games that demand finicky behavior. Alright, we continue. Prime, our first move, let's see what happens. These are all called shape forms, by the way. That's the longer word, the word that has many more syllables than guy. Which is obviously why I'm saying it so much. It's natural that way. Outcome. Who goes where? What happens? So, ooh, he tried to... I see. This was kind of interesting. He took up a position at this window, which, I mean, he wasn't going to get much from, but he tried to shoot through both of these windows into this guy. Low cover denotes windows in my mind, by the way. Like, low cover in walls. pretty sure it's meant to, because these low covers look like tables, right? It's all just virtual approximations. There's like a little coffee table. There's no chairs around it, of course, but you know. Yeah, this guy came right around this corner. Not into number 4's view, but number 3 is already taking shots at him, and I think, yeah, it's going to take a while. So if this guy chooses to ignore number 3 and run away, he will survive and have a chance at taking somebody else down. But if he doesn't, and I suspect he won't, because I'm not entirely sure that's a strategic decision the level 1 AI is capable of making. If not, he is definitely dead, because he cannot shoot anybody before this guy shoots him. He's still a bit of a liability, this person up here. I'm hoping that he'll cover any approaches he tries to make, like from around, and number 2 will cover any approaches along here, and number 3 will take him out if he tries to enter this hallway. So hopefully we've got him covered, but if not, he's going to be the one that drags out this mission and potentially takes someone down. But anyway, I don't think I want anybody to move just now. I think I want to keep everyone here and just let number 3 sort himself out. So we're going to prime. So that first step was the hardest one, but now we might have it a bit easier. Oh, number 2 did actually avoid me. Oh, but now he failed and he's dead. Number 3 is kind of taking his time, and as such, I think I'm going to move number 1 up here, try to give him a shot through this window. So first I'm going to tell him to cancel the aim so that he will start moving faster. Because aiming, being in an aiming stance or a crouched stance, ducking stance I guess, according to the game, makes any unit move slower. So in order to make someone move at full speed, you need to take them out of aim, take them out of crouch, and also, if there are opponents nearby, tell them to ignore enemies, because if you don't, they will immediately engage any opponent they see. So yeah, I'm going to try to give him a shot. It looks like he actually has an angle from here. That's also helpful about drawing lines like this. You can totally test out what the line of sight is, and whether they have it to certain areas. Like this. Well, now it's awkward because it's not coming from the right place, but if I do it from here, look at that. If I can draw a line all the way here and it doesn't encounter any obstacles, I can shoot him. So this is in case he doesn't try to move anymore. This is in case he does try to move anymore. This guy will have him covered down this hallway. And then I can move number 4 up, or rather down this way, and then aiming in this direction. So that he will instead, in case he somehow does use this cover to his advantage and doesn't get shot by number 3, he is still likely to be taken out by 4. So that's the plan right now. Yeah, it looks like he could totally duck into this room and just be safe from number 3, but then he's right in range of number 4 if he doesn't advance, and in range of number 1 if he does, so we're just, everything is backed for him. Number 2 still got this hallway. We're good. Let's do this. Man, this is going a lot better than the last time I tried to record. If this is a 20-minute episode, I'm going to be happy. Okay, outcome. Come out, wherever you outcome. Ooh, look at that! No losses! We did it. Captain Senior Nix is telling us, excellent, you're needed further inside the complex. Forces are attempting to shut down the facility. So we're gonna do that next time. The next mission is actually something kind of sad and gross, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a moral decision in it. I don't believe you encounter a lot of those in this game. But maybe? I don't know. Like I was saying, the writing is actually kind of complicated and interesting in the story, and it's worth paying attention to. I just, as I was explaining, don't want to for video length purposes. I'm glad this went so well. 3 turns, everyone's gone, and I hope we can continue this streak further. Thank you for joining me for this video. In the next ones, I'll be doing a lot less explaining of the mechanics in the story and the game and the series, and just a lot more playing. Maybe do some editing if certain areas drag out too long, and do like little highlights. We'll see how that works out. But it's something that I'll definitely need to consider, because this game can drag on, especially if you're even slightly like not able to focus, or just anything. I did really well this time. I got lucky, made some good decisions, lucky guesses. There's a lot to talk about. I lied. I'll totally be talking about the game, but just not in the same like explanatory way that I've been trying to do it today. Thank you for joining me. You have been watching Markus playing Frozen Synapse, the first episode of many, I can promise. hopefully more today, so I can make up for the 2 days that I missed on account of slight depression. See you guys, and girls, and gender non-assigns tomorrow. Why can I say nothing without feeling awkward? Thank you for joining me again. See you tomorrow. See you later today. Before tomorrow. And I love you. Mwah.